But going back to Marcus Freeman, absolutely doing a fantastic job. And if you're asking the question, should he be, considered to be a candidate, or go ahead?
I am. We are.
Yes. So, I mean, to me, if he wins the national championship, I not only think the Bears will be considering him as an option, I think there will be other teams around the league. And if the question simply is he worthy of it? He absolutely is worthy of it. Obviously, there's buyout considerations and things you have to, maneuver through. But I just on its surface, if you're trying to get ahead of the curve of somebody that could be a great NFL head coach, he has all the intangibles. And I think one of the things I really have looked at here through these college football playoffs is, he certainly is the CEO type, and he's not running their defense. Al Golden is running their defense as their defensive coordinator. The thing that really impresses me is how much he combines culture with the analytics that a lot of, some of these forward-thinking teams go to. He has an analytics advisor standing right next to him the entire game. This season, they went for it on fourth down more than any team in college football. Does it sound familiar, Bears fans? That's what the Lions do. And so he's got an aggressive mentality. He puts the confidence in his team. Look at how they play. Look at the adjustments they made in the second half. Look at what they did against Georgia, throwing them off to throw offsides. There's so many good things just in these 3 games alone here in the college football playoff. But just overall, I think he absolutely would be a phenomenal candidate. And if they win the national championship, just don't be surprised to see his name starting to come back to the surface.
Hoge, you think this is legit? Do you think the Bears are? I mean, he's making $9.5
Well, it's the question: do I think he can become the Bears head coach, or should he be in the conversation? Those are two different things.
Let's go with the first one. Actually, answer both. Let's start with the first one. Should he be, and do you think he will be? Let's go that way.
I already reported in November the Bears had interest in Marcus Freeman. I believe they did their homework on Marcus Freeman. Somewhere in the building, somebody is very interested in Marcus Freeman. That's been the case in the past. You do that with a number of different candidates. Sometimes it leaks out, sometimes it doesn't. That does not mean that he's going to be interviewed or be a serious candidate. If I had to guess, I would not expect him to be. But that might be up to Marcus Freeman, though. And I've also heard that from that other side, is that he's very happy in college and kind of wants to be a college coach. And some guys don't ever. The thing is it's been kind of this division, and I think there's good reasons for it, because it would be one of the fears with Marcus Freeman. It's great. This is all working with a bunch of 18 to I guess college guys are up to like 28 years old now with all the eligibility they get. But and I don't know if this will change over time with NIL and stuff, and maybe there'll be a little bit more crossover in terms of how rosters are built and things like that, and dealing with guys that are, getting paid like Caleb Williams was last year. But right now, like if you look at, I was talking about Mike Kafka on Hogan Johns this morning. So for instance there, like he got his start with Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, but after 1 year, he's like, I'm going to Kansas City, where I played for Andy Reid. I'm going to get in the NFL coaching world. Right. There is a wall there that you kind of have to cross over to early in today's football world. So I think there would be a lot of hesitation. We've seen it before, though. We saw Matt Rule get a huge contract a few years ago from Carolina Panthers. Just more times than not, it seems not to work. So that's obviously going to be the fear. Now, if you're going to ask me the second part of that, which is, do I think he should be a candidate? I love his leadership style. I think that it can transcend to the NFL and get through with NFL players, and certainly be an upgrade over what the Bears have had inside that building the last few years. My fear, though, would be his staff. Who's he hiring? His staff right now is full of college guys. These are college guys. Al Golden's been coaching in college forever. Now, he does have head coaching experience. I like that he, has a defense coordinator that was a head coach. Maybe he can do it at the NFL level. But it would be a tremendous leap, is my point. As much as I do like his leadership style and do love what he's doing, I'll run him through the simulator. We'll see what grade gets spit out here.
I do like Matt Nagy's comment in the chat. He said Marcus Freeman is a leader of boys, not a leader of men. But I get it. But the one thing, he had a quote. I shared the video on Twitter yesterday, and I just thought, when you talk about how you compare it to what's going on with the Bears, listen to what Al Harris was saying earlier about leaders. And this is something we've talked about throughout the season, and a lot of people don't like this narrative kind of talk. But It is a tangible thing that goes on in locker rooms, and he's cultivating that in the Notre Dame locker room right now. And his quote was, "We don't love leaders by example, because leaders by example are guys that just do what they're told, do everything they're asked, but they don't say things when their teammates aren't reaching a standard. We need more leaders, guys that are willing to hold their teammates accountable." That is a direct line to what has been an issue of the many issues the Bears had this season, is that they have 8 captains. I said it all season. Too many captains, not enough leaders, not enough guys that are willing to get in each other's faces. And you're starting to hear that spill over here as the season ended, how everyone wasn't willing to like call each other out. And that's something that needs to change this season. And if the guys in the locker room aren't really cut like that, which to me, I think is something they need to adjust personally, having somebody that's at the front of the room that is cut like that will trickle down into the culture of your locker room. Overall, obviously, I understand that this is a long shot, likely not to happen. When you look at from a timing perspective, for him, he's just getting his feet sunken into being a great Notre Dame head coach. Why would he leave right now? Certainly, when you look at the money they're making as a non-conference team in the college football playoff, they just made, by making it to the national championship, $20 million for their school. In comparison, if Ohio State makes it to the national championship, they have to split the same revenue that Notre Dame gets all to themselves, and they only come away with $1.1 million that goes to their school if they make it to the national championship tonight. So the money aspect is out of this world, and a huge incentive for him to stay. And then you look from the Bears side of things. If they were in a different part of where they are as a team, Marcus Freeman might make all the sense in the world right now if they were just at the ground floor. But the fact of the matter is, to bring in a guy like this, that, you know, it's a huge long shot. I understand it's an outside shot, but I just think from a scenario standpoint that they miss out on the first 5 guys they're trying to get, and I'm just throwing out a hypothetical scenario, then all of a sudden he might become one of the more intriguing candidates that are on that second tier.
We all silly like the mayor.